just a quick update before, and then that led to what else we got here. So as of 2 hours ago, there was this warning that was given by this young lady here, talked about online banking services and mobile banking services.
Okay, so at 3:30, Ham, hello. Give me any questions you want me to ask Ham, and I'll do it. I'll do it we'll do it live. I'm trying to think of, inappropriate investor. Hey, reader. I hope, Eddie, a young guy like you is going to make a lot of money. A young guy like you is going to make a lot of money. His thoughts on the banking, however. I don't know. How lever. He used to phone. He used to have it. Well, now, Billy. He'd have the phone like this. Well, Billy, I'm going to James Lynn. He's got too fine a pencil. All right. Oh, hey, yo. And Claire. 500 would be awesome. I think it's going to go higher than 500, but let's not get greedy. Eddie Eagle, double E. Oh. Yeah, we can go over the news. Max, that's right. They're in a Moon River position. And as usual, even though I mentioned it to all you guys, I wish I had bought puts. I wish I had followed my own advice. Barry, I understand that from, I forget who was speaking right now, but I checked that on a space call earlier, and I understand the date is March 28th. So that's the length of time the court gave, I guess, as a stay order. So yeah, I think you're right, Barry. What happens to the shorts? What happens to the shorts with the divvy? Can this be for all hell breaks loose? Is it good? Why is, hey, Milwaukee? Wow, I've been there. Yeah, 1,000. I think in a spike it's going to go a lot higher, but we'll see. It looks like a riddle time. Hey, Pete. Pangiatis. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. Yeah, let me look at before we get going, let's just go around the league. So, I just got corrected from the gentleman who told me. He said March 29th, not 28th, Barry. And he's a loyal. I gotta get something here that has a little more hopefulness than this. I'll try to do that this weekend. GTII, I just told you, I thought it's 176, up 10 cents, 1.14 million. COSM, I'm just going to go down what I have here. 370, down 9 cents. TRKA, I'm not following it. 27 cents, down 8. GNS, that's Roger James Hamilton stock. It's his $1 billion battle. 326, down 39 cents. But he certainly has brought a lot of attention to the cause. All right, and then DBMM, a CEO who I've never spoken to, but who I admire. Her name is, her title is something like, head chief commissioner. I forget what her title is. But anyways, she's great. That's at 0.0009. And remember, their goal is to get it to 0.0001, stop trading. And if you think any of these guys are your friend, you're crazy. Absolutely crazy. CLNV, 0.0611. That's what happens. You announce that you're taking an offering, just like anyway, let's not. Go Logic, I'm going to do a video on. That's 215. They've had great news. CRTD, 1777. And unfortunately, I think we had our dead cat bounce already. So now you're in the phase of, do I just get out, or do I buy if it goes lower, or do I buy here? My own sense is that it's probably best to treat this like an investment now. And if it goes lower, I would buy more. If it doesn't, maybe I'd buy more here, but I would hold. I think the opportunity to do a bounce trade has gone. And now it takes time. Just like with GTII when it was, $5, $6, went crashing down. From that sort of Thanksgiving time till now, as Lion of All Trades correctly pointed out, it's been about 3 months. And that's kind of, unless there's a jolt from the blue that jolts the story, I think that CRTD needs time now. But I'm not giving up on a squeeze, and I'm not giving up on Jeremy Frommer. Okay, let's leave it there because I better dial in. And just to make sure that I don't screw it up, I'm gonna slew back on the GTI. Special K. Okay, I'm gonna put this on silence so I can call in, and then, but I'm here.
there. I have William on the call. I'm going to merge him in, or he is in it ready. Again, this is not to buy or sell. Just for educational purposes, and you make your own decisions on what you're going to do in your financial, decisions. William, welcome again. And again, can you hear me?
Yeah, Ham, I can hear you, and congratulations on having the only green stock today.
Well, again, this is so people understand. This has nothing to do with the universe of equities. This is a complete. This is something completely outside the real market, as I call it. This is a special situation where the stock settlement system has failed again, and we discovered it and we tracked them. And as you can see, the only way out of this mess is up by pushing it down. They tried it 1,000 times in the last 2.5 years. I'm sure you've seen the attacks. It's the same patterns. For example, today it got to 185, and a couple of people were nice enough to put up the bear rate. I wasn't around. It went from 185 to 163. I'm told in 45 seconds, and I posted it off a bar chart. I think it was 130, 140,000 shares sold at the market just before the 10 o'clock margin call.
Why do you think 185 is important?
I have no idea. I'm not a numbers guy. I don't believe in any of that stuff. But people on charts, I have no idea. Obviously, there's a margin problem. These guys have been exposed by the DTC already, Alpine, and I'm sure. I always speak. William, we used to always discuss when the red lights were going on, how when the stock goes up, the red light goes on. There's a margin problem.
Right.
And people are, the red light was going on. We would all scratch in our heads saying, how could it be possible that no one's stopping these guys? And basically, when it squeezed to 9, we all said the same thing. It's impossible that no one's getting a margin call. Well, as DTC caught these guys basically playing the game with no money that's involved in the stock settlement system. These guys cannot. It's like, listen. I'm not Howard Hughes by any means. I can't put trades into the settlement system with no money to back me. Play. That's Wall Street. Anybody goes to buy a stock, you need money in the account. No one's giving anybody credit anymore. Go buy stock, you need money in the account. So when the stocks have margin issues, everything has to be covered. Now these guys are hiding trades, washing trades, do anything to buy more settlement time. Maybe that lowers their positions on margin because it looks like they sold it and it doesn't hit again for a few days. It's like kiting a check. The old story, write a check to cover another check to keep going down the road. That's what they're doing. And they've been doing it a while. But again, we all know what they're doing. And just let's change the subject for a second. While we're waiting for Wes Christian to actually file his lawsuit against the street, the company came up with another idea for a special dividend, issuing a restricted share, 1 for 10. So, William, if it's 300 million shares short, there's 30 million shares they have to account for. Let's say the stock is $2, $2 times 30 million. This little dividend trick, whatever you want to call it, has cost these guys $60 million today. Okay? Once the company gives the record date, these guys are on the hook for $60 million. Okay? Just from the little dividend trick. So they can keep playing. The noose gets tighter, and there's more tricks that we can do. There's plenty of things coming up. Don't forget the right to vote. Each person gets 1 vote. If you have 10,000 shares, you get 10,000 votes. You don't get to vote for 1 share. You get to vote for 10,000. Again, the voting trade is another part of Wall Street that we can expose. And it's just many things happening here. Just so the MMT people understand, there's plenty of stuff going on at DTC and West down in DC. There's tremendous activity. I know West told me that this is coming to a head in a big way. So again, I'm not there. I can't answer that, but what I'm hearing from everybody's excited, and I hope it brings over for the MMTLP crowd. I know they've been stuck, but I will tell you this, the MMTLP crowd, I'm getting good at saying that and quick. I guarantee you 90% of you got your ass kicked buying anything else in the equity market unless you bought GTII. Because everything has gotten killed, so maybe it was a godsend that they locked you up a little bit, and hopefully when it opens up, you get all your money back and then some. Okay? Things happen for a reason sometimes. Look at the positive. You would have missed this whole disaster in the equity market, unless you bought GTII. Anyway, so Bill, what do you think of the concept of the new dividend and what the company's doing?
Well, I think it shows that the company is, as you know, for 2.5 years, I don't know how many times they've offered dividends, maybe 8 times. I don't know. I'm trying to remember quickly. But it shows that the company is continuing to take actions to trap out the shorts. And I think that's unique among these companies because GTII is in a position with the cash balance to ride out the storm in terms of having to raise capital. So I think it's tremendous news.
Yeah, listen, they've done nothing but, try to help out, if I know for crypto coins, for Picasso. Everyone knows the regulatory bodies are not on our side. There's no help from anybody. And we're doing it ourselves. We finally got the proof from the Depository Trust. Again, doing this 23 years. Even Pat Byrne will tell you, he spent $30 million fighting them. And the only thing he came out of it was finding out that Goldman Sachs is a stock loan company. Basically, it's not a bank, it's basically a stock loan. That's where they get all their money from. That's what he got for $30 million. We haven't spent a penny yet, and we got the Depository Trust telling us the prime broker Alpine is short our stock and we got a big problem. That is unheard of. Unheard of. And then we got people from Long Island calling around, trying to get people to sell their positions. I mean, that information is as fresh as you can get.
If Alpine's in trouble, does it mean that every share has to be bought back? And who does that buying back?
Well, I'll just leave it. I'll just start with this. I'll do it as backwards. If no one buys it back, then everyone is home. We all go to the Caymans to start selling fake shares into the U.S. Instead of selling $1.80 stock, we'll find these $100 stocks and just sell 1,000 shares today, and you'll have a party every day. Right? So the whole system has to be guaranteed. And as you can see, it's posted in, I saw it this morning, I don't know if it was on the Credit Suisse, or Credit Suisse, when they're closing down their bond department or something. All positions must be closed out. Okay? This is what's going to happen with Alpine. When they get the hammer and they get shut down, that notice that the DTC is going to go out and tell them everything needs to be closed out. If they're short, that means buy them back. If they're long, they're going to have to sell them out. Okay? We know it's short because they told us that it's short. Okay? So, again, these are things that the system has to be backed, and the governing body of the settlement system is the Depository Trust. And they're telling us, they told us in writing to the court documents, West Kitchen, all these people can't believe that we got this proof given to us for free. You don't need discovery, they're giving it to us.
Right.
It's unheard of. All right? So we calculated this proofs every day. We stayed on top of it. We helped expose it. William, Avid, everybody, all the shareholders that have been here. I thank them all for everybody doing their part. Everybody helping out, educating, understanding it themselves. And finally, we forced out the issue through Alpine getting busted. Okay, that's, we all think we want to see the stock, these guys cover it. We all want to see the moon. But it takes time. This is security fraud. And the reason this is so great is because of security fraud. And that's why we parked the truck I think 6 times, William. I think we've been at the SEC. And basically telling the SEC, here is the proof we've been showing you. Here's the criminals. Here's their faces. here's all the players. They all got paid, compensated, and they know how could they come in and shut us down? But we've been calling the police for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know you've called, and I know I have. I know many people have.
So today the volume is 1.2 million. Last trade 1.81. Who's selling, and what are they doing? And is it a sign of weakness or strength that
Again, they're just trying to. All these wash trades are. It's just a cha-cha. When people come in and buy it, you know there's buyers around because they move quickly out of the way. The stock pops up a little bit until they have no choice to try to hold it down, which they're trying to do now. I think exactly what you said on Twitter before was a good point. All these little bandits that they bring in as part of the team, you know, they got 10 friends. Hey, go short the stock. We're going to try to kill it today. And these day traders come in, short it. And at the end of the day, they're going to cover. So at the end of the day, I agree with you. I think you're going to see a spike back up. I think there's a good chance we go past 2 because I think these guys who sold 50, 100,000 shares, when they turn and trying to cover it, they sell 50,000 shares through these market makers with the market maker exemption, these day trading places. And you've seen the example of that with Wedbush, where they give offshore people direct access to the market using their name as leverage. At the end of the day, these are the type of people, hey, sell 50,000 shares at $1.80, I can buy it back down 20 cents and make a quick 10 grand. That's how these guys think.
right?
Those are those little pilot fish. Is that what they call them? I think they follow around the big fish. I can't remember what it is. They follow the whales or the sharks.
Yeah.
They hang around the big boys. When the big boys aren't playing, that's where these guys get hung out to dry. And I think you're going to see that on the close because these guys, they don't want to carry this position. I'll give you an example, Bill. If you're short 50,000 for a day trade at $1.85, are you going to take this 50,000 share short position home over the weekend?
No, I wouldn't. But they're doing other idiot things.
Again, the one thing they're not doing it, they used to carry it home over the weekend. I think the game has changed now where with the margin, the banks under fire here, the biggest banks in the world are all under fire. There's problems all over the equity markets. And I think that at any given time, you can get called in by outside forces. Okay, this is before it was like everybody was playing and there was nobody overseeing it. Now I think that you have the margin police, as we call them, really out here looking for trades that could really damage, the bank, whoever's lending them the money. Like Credit Suisse lent all that margin money, and look what's happened to them. They looked the other way and they destroyed the whole place.
If a buy-in starts, and try to answer the concern of MMTLP people as well, that along the lines, do they have to be taken care of or can it just be ignored? But in the case of GTII, can FINRA stop trading? That's the biggest question I ever get.
I doubt it. There's no reason to stop trading. It's a public company. This is the playing field. Okay, they just can't stop it and say, hey, the playing field's slanted down. That's not going to happen here. MMTLP people got stopped because the company was going private. They all knew that,
Right.
To me, everyone stayed looking for the home run. Okay, it hasn't happened yet. GTII hasn't happened yet. We've been waiting for 2.5 years. They've been waiting 90 days.
Yeah.
90 days. We've been waiting 2.5 years. How are they still standing here? It's a different story. We can't. I don't believe that FINRA has anything to do with this thing. Everyone's been warned about it. The court documents with the SEC and the DTC going after Alpine. I don't think you can see anything stronger than what you're seeing here. Okay, to me, when I used to trade, and a lot of times we look at stocks that the takeover candidates, and you had the writing was on the wall a lot, and there was I'll bore you for 1 second.
Never boring.
We were in a company called Ides, IGEN.
185, 185.5. Go on.
Now you lost my train of thought. I was in a stock called Ides, and they were in a battle with Roche.
Right.
They were selling the diagnostic machine to Roche. Roche used all their clients, put it into the machine, and they wound up getting in a big lawsuit. Roche, Ides sued Roche. Roche won the lawsuit, and everyone killed Ides stock. But Ides had the machine, which is clients at the end of the day. So the stock went from, I'll say $40, went down to 25. I still remember calling some of the biggest names on the street to load up. And within 2 days, Roche had to pay $60 to buy them out because they lost their whole business.
Wow.
So the writing was on the wall. We knew we went down $15 at the time, but it went up $35, $40 at the end because we understood what was going on. It's called education. So these little swings to me mean nothing. It's education about where we're going at the end. And at the end of the day, we know there's 781,000 shares that got to be covered. The real short seller, I'm just going to keep battling for a second, who's short, 781,000 shares, they're obviously tied to the Kramers somewhere. They're part of the gang. Stock, you can go short anything else to make money. The only thing he can make at this level is he can make 1.3 million. I did the math this morning. If the company went to zero, it could take 5 years to carry that trade. You're insane. Okay, but on the upside, this guy could lose millions of dollars. As a matter of fact, he loses $781 every dollar up. So whoever is the short who's borrowing shares someone needs to take away his license, because that's the worst trading position I've ever seen in my life. And there's not one person in the planet that would allow that trade to happen in any firm and carry it. It's a different story.
Talk about that a little bit because of your experience. Who would do this short trade? And talk about how you were trained that you leave the last dollar or two for the idiots, basically.
That's what Michael Steiner told me that every day. When we shorted the stock, when it crashed down, it finally crashed and burned. It was, like from 30 down to 8, 7. We used to cover it 7. And other people were coming in thinking that it was a broken stock. And
190. 190. Go ahead.
and they keep trying to get the last $2 to steal. The game is over already. They used to call it that. Leave that for the idiots. Okay? This is $1.80, whatever it was this morning when that guy reported it last night. We short 871,000 shares. What are they waiting for to cover? That's a borrowed short. We all can see the number. It's not hidden. Okay? Now I've just looked up for a second. I see 9,000 by 9,000. These trades a lot of stock is being washed to cover their friends who are trying to cover. Those little market makers we spoke about are in a panic, trying to cover into the close. And the Alpine, the big short, is trying to hold it down by offering size to them. Remember, when the sellers take their foot off the landmine, what's going to happen? Just think about there's no selling going into a close like this. And what's going to happen to be, you can see the stock gapping. But it's the shorts when you take it at 189 and they offer 3,000 like you see at 187 now. Like, what's the panic rush to sell it down? What's the mad rush?
Yeah.
All they're trying to do is stop the upside momentum. Stop the momentum at all costs. But again, these numbers, the margin number, all going to be is exposed already. Okay, they can't hide the fact that the depository trust has put in writing that they had the most major violation ever is playing the game with no money. It's called free riding. That's what we call that on Wall Street. Playing the game with no money. Nobody can play the game. You need money to play the game. Those guys were busted out. Think about it. They were probably down $1 billion at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And trying to hide it. Okay? How do you hide that? Now all of a sudden we got 15,000 for sale at 88. All these big offers keep coming in, spoofing, offering. When you see 700 shares bid and 10,000 on the offer side, that's going to be the reverse. Only they'll take the stock. stock on that, because no one's going to go bidding for it, and they'll turn it around. But again, this is everybody wants it over in 2 minutes. The writing's been on the wall for a while. You can see the chips falling in your favor. We've had good days, we had bad days. It sucks to watch the manipulation. We can't stop it. But again, it's been 2.5 years where I believe, and this is, I've been here for 2.5 years, that this is a life-changing situation. Okay, I reported it on GameStop. I knew it was big, but I didn't realize it was that big. I counted every share, every trade for 2.5 years here, and I actually reported it every day. I was on calls. I think you were here, William. We had 30 people.
Yeah, and I was one of them.
And we'd be talking every day about look at the manipulation we pointed out. Okay, it's very different now because the manipulation is out of control, and basically it's signs of desperation. These are desperate times for these characters. The market is collapsing. Margin money. There is no one. I wouldn't be surprised if many people get calls from their credit card companies lowering their returns. I mean, their credit card exposure. That's how bad things are right now. These banks are taking a beating. Billions of dollars are big blows into the side of the street. And when Credit Suisse was getting hit before by the guy from New Jersey lost billions of dollars in the war, people can realize how powerful, how much money, billions, $10 billion is.
Wow.
These banks took tremendous hits. So, I mean, what's your thought on that?
What do you think the loss could be here?
Well, every $10 is $3 billion.
God. Do you?
How is anybody allowing this to continue? And the worst part about it is that everyone's educated about it. The education by the law here outdoes GameStop by 100 to 1. People who were buying GameStop had no idea what they were doing. It was the game store. No one knew anything about it. I was the only person reporting how big the naked short was. People were buying it. They were banding together at the beginning. I still remember. I still didn't hear anybody talk about the short and how big it is. No one knew what was going on. They'd find the street. All of a sudden, the stock started to pop.
Well,
the stock popped.
Yeah. No, I was just using your number. If GTII were to go to $15 or $20, that loss would be bigger than Archegos, however you say that name, or Credit Suisse. Wouldn't that just cause a buy-in of massive consequences?
The biggest problem the street's going to have here is that everyone is educated now.
Right.
There's people that are getting involved now, but it's a Johnny-come-lately gang, right?
Right.
I have a fund that wants to buy it when it hits $3 or $4 and it's got momentum. And I'm not, that's when he wants to buy it. I can't say anything about it. There's a guy who could buy 3 million shares of stock. He wants to buy it when it hits $5, $6, whatever. He's waiting for a sign from the gods. That's how big boys come. They want the game in full bloom, and then they come. But they don't care if they're buying it at 6, 7. They know they can sell it at 70, 80.
Well,
That's how they come. So,
explain that a little bit. Everyone, we feel so battered down. Wall Street's against us. They're all one big monolithic evil. But explain how it can go the other way, too. There's Wall Street people that make money on the upside, too.
Wall Street people, when they smell blood. And trust me, I've been in many meetings with friends that run money, that are big players. They all know about this stock. It's on their screen. Trust me, I can vouch for that. So they buy it when they want. That's not my decision. They're all watching it. They can tell what's going on. They see the stories. I have friends that we send the stories to about the BTC. We've had many calls about that. I had a friend that's buying 500,000 today. He's been playing games all day. He's buying 25 a clip. He does it when he wants. He called me up and he wanted to buy 500,000. So he's in here buying it. There's real people buying it. They don't just run and buy it. They professionals and throughout the whole day. As a retail person, when you go buy 10,000 shares, you're buying 10,000 to it as it goes. Like, you know, when the stock's breaking here now, I wouldn't be surprised if my friend, who's a big player, comes in and buys another 100 on the close. You know, he knows his gut feeling is going to gap open on Monday. I can tell you how these guys think. They buy into the close because they think something's going to happen on Monday. And you know what? Something could happen on Monday. You know, we're waiting for West's lawsuit. You know, once West files his lawsuit, then there's more dividends to come, more traps. There's margin, there's banks falling. Everything that's going down in the marketplace is reversed in this stock. It's the complete opposite. It doesn't make it, the whole world can end tonight. It doesn't make a difference. They got to cover the shares here.
What happens when the stock starts going up with other people shorting into it and then having to buy back?
Well, that is a great question, and I think that with the environment, today's environment, like what's going on now, I don't think you're going to get those people coming shorting the stock now. A couple of months ago, when there was free and a lot of money floating around and margin was easy, guys were shorting it. So I think the party we have now with 781 million shares is the party we're going to have going forward. I don't think you're going to get, someone here cutting short 20 million shares more. I think the people trying to catch it when it goes, it's going to be little and none.
Well, then talk about that a bit. What's the banking environment doing to availability of liquidity and easy money to finance this kind of crap?
See you later. The doors are being closed.
Yeah.
Because now everybody sees that their livelihood, their family will be kicked into the street, just like the bank in California now. Shut down, everybody loses everything.
Yeah.
So this is a different time. So all the people that had free extra money, wheeling and dealing, are gone. A few months ago, if the stock would start to run, I would say other parties would come in and short it. I agree. I don't see that anymore. I think this is going to be, whoever we have tracked here is going to be our buyer. I think it's going to be, we're going to get an HKD explosion. And it's just going to be, when it runs out of fuel, when they buy all the shares in, that's when the rocket returns to Earth.
Is this story better today than it was at Thanksgiving last year? And is it still your favorite? I know you're not giving advice, but is it still your favorite?
100%. This story is so crazy now that the depository trust telling you has, I've been sitting here reporting on the crime for 2.5 years, but to have my partner be the depository trust backing me up, it's insane. Bill, don't get me wrong, I enjoy having you as my back, but the depository trust is my partner of choice.
I always knew I could count on you.
You're right under the bus. When you get the depository trust telling you there's a problem, I don't know how to, there's nothing else I could possibly say.
One other thing that people I don't think appreciate, and maybe many do, but maybe some would like to hear about, in this story, first the Kramers, who are probably gone now, and now maybe others, sold counterfeit shares as the price went up, rather than when the price went down. And
that's what I reported in GameStop and all these names were shorted down. This thing has been shorted going up. It's the complete opposite. These guys are in the red. Those stocks from all the people those guys are in the black. Like, GameStop, they shorted it down from $50 down to $3.75. I'm just making that. I don't know. I forgot the high. But think about it. They were shorting it down. Let's say their average was $26. I'm just cutting it in half. And, their average was $26. And, stock is $3.75, and they lost billions of dollars, and they were in the black. It was like they were in a race, and they had a 100-yard dash, and a 100-yard dash, and they had an 80-yard lead. They lost. That's pretty hard to do. This one is the complete opposite. These guys are upside down from day one already. They're completely been in the red the whole time. They haven't sold enough to average up. I mean, they averaged up, but it's still way below $1. I think I'll say my best guess on this whole nonsense is 83 cents, 84 cents.
Wow.
And you take away the cost to carry over the 2.5 years. You know, and think about it, every day, let's say every week they lose 2 cents paying everybody. 2 cents is 52 weeks, 2 cents. I don't know about you, do for 2 years. They need the stock to go to a minus $1.50 to break even. They can't even make money on this thing. You know, think about that for a second. They sold so much that the cost to carry this position, to pay for all these trades every day, all these criminals, their organization, everybody, the prime broker, their brokers, everyone's got their hand out looking for money, right?
Yeah.
Where are they going? That's the cost to carry. So if they're, let's say, I'll make it easy. Let's say they're shorted $1, 52 weeks, and you look to 2 days a week. You know, you're at $1.04.
I have
That means everything's gone.
I got a question here on my little window. It says, is there enough liquidity to pay out if this thing runs? Is there enough money to buy back the shares?
The DTC has trillions of dollars. It's backed by every brokerage firm on the street. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, everybody goes to the DTC. All the big banks own it. Don't worry about that. It has to be closed out. The system, again, the whole system is based on everyone being balanced out. That's the system.
So in your experience, what, and I think I know the answer, but I'll ask it, what finally makes the penny drop or the light go on that we better buy in this position? What does it come out of the blue, or are there, what signals can you see? Was today a sign of it in the morning that the...
Yes, you can see this sign in the morning where the market makers, remember, these market makers only operate when they get orders. Now, one of the firms that is a market maker in the stock has any money to take a hit being short the stock. They only operate from they get order flow through Alpine and then offshore market offshore hedge funds giving orders. There's nobody here who can stand in front of this free trade. They own them.
Right.
So if you look at it, you see ETRF, Citadel, CSTI, GTSM, OTCX. These guys wouldn't. They just take order flow. No one's here. You can see all the names of all the market makers in our stock were dropped in here by the Kramers. GERT, Puma, BLAS, ASCM, TSLA. They have no order flow. Look at them. VIRT has been all day in the stock.
Right.
They have, this is a black box. You open up a DVP account with them. You get approval, and then you're allowed to use their system. That's it. They're not calling that their stuff to say, hey, VIRT, this is, Seth Kramer, could you sell 2,000 shares? They don't do it like that. The Kramers are using a mouse, and they're doing it in their own location. They're moving it around. Someone is the Wizard of Oz, as I call it, moving the orders around.